All right, making this soup for my niece so she can do it and anybody else who want to. This is the easiest thing. It's the best soup that they have at Olive Garden that everybody talks about, but mine is better. And if you've had theirs and you do this, you'll see yourself. I'm not saying it to brag, but it's the truth. They use a couple strips of bacon. I use a whole pack of bacon. They use a little bit of sausage. I use 2 pounds of sausage. And this is kale. You have to have that. And potatoes. Like I said, I use almost a whole 5-pound bag. It's all gonna come together. Then you put the heavy whipping cream in. And you put the chicken broth. And if you've used your chicken broth and you're almost out, you can substitute it like I do. And you gotta have about a half a cup of flour. The meatiness that I add in this flour, that's the thing that makes mine 100% better. And I'm not bragging, it's the truth. I'm getting ready to get everything ready. It all goes in stages, one behind the other, and it's really fast from start to finish. So I'm actually going to try to time everything so you'll know just how long it would take. It doesn't take that long though. I'm getting ready to wash the kale. I don't know why I said asparagus, but I'm going to wash the kale and tear it off the stem because that's one thing. I don't have any stems in my stuff. And the first thing goes in is the bacon. I'll show you how that's done. Okay, the first thing is the bacon. See how I just cut it the long way in little thin strips like this here? Little pieces. And I throw the whole thing in there. And 1 large onion, or if you don't have a large, 2 onions is fine. And I throw this in together. That's the first thing that goes in. So that's the first thing I throw in. I throw in the onions and the bacon together. And I got it pretty much medium heat. So we'll go ahead and brown the bacon. It don't take long. I started it at 4:45, it's 4:48. So while my bacon is frying and my onions, I got my sausage ready. So it'll go in next. I'm cleaning my kale up, and like I said, I wash everything and I tear the leaves off the stalk. I don't use any stalk. And then I cut my potatoes up too. I have everything ready to go in because it goes in stages, one behind the other. So let me clean my kale up. Now it's time. The bacon, you don't really have to crisp it up. But see all that brown stuff in the bacon, all that stuff stuck in the bottom, where it's stuck to the bottom? That down there. You don't want to burn that now, but you want it down in there. That's all going to be flavor. It's going to kick in. And now I'm getting ready to throw in the sausage. Now I throw all the sausage in there, and actually you can turn the heat up and put a lid on it. It don't matter. You pretty much just browning the sausage just like you would. Hey, go back in there. You're just pretty much browning the sausage just like you would hamburger for spaghetti. So when it's brown, you add other stuff. Hit them old bad boys. Fighting all the time, beating each other with sticks. And one do it, one complain, the other one starts the other one. Kids having fun though. But yeah, so you just browning your sausage, and now I'm getting ready to cut the potatoes up. I'll show you how I do that, because a certain way, you can do it any way you want, but the way I do it, it's the same way they do it, and it's like the flavor is completely different, and it makes them cook a lot faster. Okay, this is how I cut my potatoes. You can cut them any way you want to. It really doesn't matter how you want to do it, but this is how I do it. I cut the potato in half, like that. Then I turn the half over, like this. And then I cut the half the long way in half, and then I go chop, 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 so that you see it's 2 halves like that. But then you see how it's like chips. See how it's like like thin chips. And it's all reason for that. See how thin it is? And the reason that I do them thin like that, because when you're cooking them, you throw them in, it doesn't take any time at all, and all that snakes is coming up. But like I said, I start off with the bacon and the onion cooking. Then I throw the sausage in there, which the sausage is cooking now. And next we go in the potatoes. And like I said, it all comes in stages, one behind the other. So you can get one thing ready while the thing in front of it is cooking. Now I got all the sausages browned up, so I'm getting ready to add potatoes in. Okay, now I got the potatoes in, and you stir them through the sausage and bacon mix. And that's when you add it don't matter what name brand, your chicken broth. And you want to cover it even with the top. You want to make sure it's completely submerged. That's not quite enough. And this is what I was saying, like I didn't have quite enough. So you can use off-name brand chicken stock if you need to stretch it out. But you want to cover it. You want to at least cover it completely. Like, that's good. I'll show you why. See how I got it even with the top of it, and that's what you want. And now you can actually turn the heat to it, let it rip, because only thing you're doing now is as soon as the potatoes start getting where they're not crunchy, you don't want them to get soft because then they'll get mushy. But as soon as they get a little soft from having any crunch at all, that's when you go to the next level. And like I said, I done got my kale ready. And like I said, I don't like that stem, so I always pull it off the stem. I wash it good and I get it off the stem. And remember this here, you do not put your kale in until everything is practically done and it's at like the last minute. That's everything is done completely. And you put the kale in at like the last minute, just long enough for it to get wet pretty much and stir it through, because you want the kale to have some crunch. Even if you don't like kale, trust me, you got to put this in. Everything complements each other. This is the last three things that go in. You got the kale, you got the heavy cream, and you got the flour. And I'm going to show you what to do with all three of these. And remember, everything goes in stages and the proper time. It all comes out perfect because, like I said, the kale is the very last thing because you want it to have some crunch to it. Even if you don't like kale, you got to try it. If you leave anything out, I've done it by accident because I was rushing and I forgot to get kale. This soup is completely different. It has to have everything. Even if you don't like kale, people have tried it, so man, that's good. Because the thing is, each thing in it complements each other. And you'll notice I haven't added any salt or any pepper or any other seasoning. You don't need it because the sausage does it all. And everything comes together as one. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. It's very good. You got to try it. Okay, the potatoes are soft and tender now, so I add just a little bit of black pepper to it. I add just a dash of salt, not a lot. Just a little. And now it's time to add the next ingredient. Okay, next ingredient is the heavy whipping cream. I add pretty much about 16 ounces. I might add maybe 12 ounces, and that's good. And everything you add in, like I said, it adds a different flavor, but it all comes together in one. So stir that in, mix the whipping cream in, the heavy cream in. The only two things left is the kale. Like I said, it still lasts, and now the flour. And you see I got like a half a cup of flour, and I want to add cold water, just enough. Cold water, just enough where I can make it thick and pasty, but I can get it out of here. I actually added some more flour, so I got about a half a cup of flour. Let's see how thick and pasty it is. You don't want any lumps in it, so you want to get them out of it. Right before I put the flour mix in, now I throw the kale in. And like I said, I'm throwing it in, and the flour mix is not gonna take any time. So you put it in, push it down. As soon as it get wet, it shrivels up some, but not like spinach. But like I said, you still want it to have that crunch. And as you can see, I got that whole big thing of kale. It's just one bunch, so you don't have to worry about trying to measure it. I just get a whole bunch every time. And you see what I'm saying? Push it down. It doesn't shrivel up like spinach, but it'll still have some crunch. And you're only giving it it'll end up being maybe 3 minutes total, because I'm getting ready to throw the flour in now. But you see how everything is coming together all the time. And see how it's a little milky. Now that's where the flour comes in. Oh, spilled some mess on the stove. Let me get that up. Okay, this is where the flour water comes in. And you see how thick it is. You pour it in there. That should be enough. And you stir it through. You cook it just long enough to get the raw dough taste out of it. Okay, here's the finished product. And this is the difference. Theirs at Olive Garden is watery and runny. It's got the same flavor and it's good, but theirs is watery and runny. See how this here, look at this here. See what that flour does to it. It thickens it up like gravy. And mine is twice as meaty. And it's also got more potatoes, got more everything in it. So mine, it's a belly full. I mean, it is good. Every bite you got a spoon for. Even if you didn't have nothing, or like a little bit of the juice right and you left in your place, it fills you up, and it's a full course meal. It is so good. And I got about maybe $15 in the whole deal. And look at that big pot full. Got 2 bowls, deep bowls too, and we cook it all the time. We love it. Please try it. And the thing about it, no matter what you do, the first time, do not miss any ingredients. Do not leave anything out. Do not substitute anything, because everything in there, you have to use the hot, spicy Italian sausage. If you use any other sausage, it's a completely different taste. It's nothing near what it's supposed to be, because that hot Johnsonville is what I like. That's the best flavor for all of it. And if you substitute anything, you're throwing everything out of whack. So don't substitute anything and then say you made it and you didn't like it, because if you did, you made something else that you didn't like. You didn't make this.